embark on an enchanting journey beneath the waves with little Theo, a young explorer who stumbles upon a secret world deep in the ocean. In this magical bedtime story, Theo learns the value of friendship, courage, and the power of helping others. Dive into a colourful underwater realm filled with talking sea creatures, hidden treasures, and an unforgettable adventure that teaches the importance of kindness and teamwork. Theo was a curious 9-year-old who loved everything about the ocean. He would spend hours at the beach near his house, collecting shells and watching the waves roll in. His favourite thing was imagining what lay beneath the surface, a mysterious world full of colourful fish, ancient shipwrecks, and hidden treasures. But no matter how hard he tried, the ocean always kept its secrets. One sunny afternoon, while Theo was exploring a rocky tide pool, he found something unusual, a small, shimmering conch shell. It was unlike any shell he had seen before, with intricate patterns and a faint glow that seemed to pulse with life. As he picked it up, he heard a gentle voice echoing from inside the shell. "Hello? Is anyone there?" Theo gasped, almost dropping the shell. He held it up to his ear, and the voice spoke again. "Please, I need your help." Without hesitation, Theo whispered back, "Who are you?" "I am Coral, a guardian of the ocean," said the voice. "I am trapped, and I need someone brave to help me." Theo's heart pounded with excitement and fear. He knew this was the adventure he had always dreamed of. He took a deep breath and said, "I'll help you. Just tell me what to do." Suddenly, the shimmering shell began to glow brighter, and before Theo knew it, a swirl of water surrounded him, lifting him off his feet. He closed his eyes as the world spun around him, and when he opened them, he found himself deep underwater, surrounded by a vibrant, colourful world unlike anything he had ever seen. Schools of fish swam by, their scales glistening like jewels. Tall kelp swayed gently in the current, and the water was filled with soft, glowing lights. Theo looked down and realized he could breathe. The shimmering shell was still in his hand, glowing softly. "Follow the lights," Coral's voice whispered from the shell. Theo swam forward, the glowing lights guiding his way. He passed a group of playful dolphins who flipped and twirled around him, and a friendly sea turtle that gave him a gentle nod. As Theo swam deeper, he saw something amazing. A grand underwater palace made of coral and seashells, its towers spiraling towards the surface. At the entrance to the palace stood a small, worried-looking sea creature. It was a seahorse, no bigger than Theo's hand, with bright blue scales and eyes full of concern. "You must be Theo," said the seahorse. "I'm Ripple. Coral is trapped inside the palace by the shadow of the deep. It has taken over our home and made everyone too afraid to fight back." Theo nodded, feeling a mix of fear and determination. He knew he had to help. "How do I get inside?" Ripple pointed to a small hidden tunnel beneath a patch of seaweed. "Through there. But be careful. The shadow grows stronger with fear." Theo took a deep breath and swam into the tunnel. It was dark and narrow, and for a moment he felt a wave of fear wash over him. But then he remembered Coral's voice and Ripple's worried eyes. He couldn't let them down. As he emerged from the tunnel, Theo found himself in a large open chamber. The walls were lined with shimmering coral, but the light was dimmed by a dark, swirling figure in the center of the room. The shadow of the deep loomed over a small, glowing pearl, Coral's heart, the source of her power. "Who dares enter my domain?" the shadow hissed, its voice echoing through the chamber. Theo's hands trembled, but he held up the shimmering shell. "I am Theo, and I'm not afraid of you," he said, his voice steady despite the fear in his heart. The shadow laughed, a cold, hollow sound. "You think you can defeat me, little one? I feed on fear." Theo closed his eyes and thought of all the sea creatures who needed him. Ripple, the dolphins, the sea turtle, and coral. He thought of the beauty of the ocean and how important it was to protect it. Slowly he felt a warmth spreading through him, starting from the shell in his hand. When Theo opened his eyes, the shell was glowing brightly, its light filling the chamber. The shadow shrieked, trying to pull away, but the light grew stronger, pushing it back. "You have no power here," Theo said, his voice growing louder. "This is a place of light, of friendship, and of courage." With a final burst of light, the shadow dissolved, leaving only the glowing pearl behind. Theo swam forward and gently picked up the pearl. As he did, the entire chamber lit up, the coral walls glowing with vibrant colours once more. "Thank you, Theo!" Coral's voice echoed from the pearl. "You have saved us all!" Theo smiled as Ripple swam up beside him, his eyes wide with admiration. "You did it! You really did it!" Theo felt a warmth of pride and happiness. He knew this was more than just an adventure. It was a chance to help others and make a difference. The shimmering shell began to glow again, and Theo felt the familiar swirl of water surrounding him. In a flash, he was back on the beach, the shell still in his hand, but now it was just an ordinary shell, no glow, no voice. Theo looked out at the ocean, a smile on his face. He knew the magic was still out there, and that he would always be ready for another adventure. Theo's adventure didn't end there. That night, as he lay in bed, the conch shell began to glow again. This time, it was even brighter. Theo felt a tug, as if the ocean itself was calling him. He knew he had to answer. The next day, Theo returned to the beach, and as he held the shell, he was transported back to the underwater world. But this time, it was even more vibrant. Coral greeted him in person, a beautiful mermaid with flowing hair made of seaweed and eyes that sparkled like the ocean at dawn. "Theo," she said, "there is more to be done. The shadow was only the beginning. There are others who need our help." Theo nodded, his heart pounding with excitement. He knew he couldn't do it alone, and soon Ripple joined them along with a new friend. Marina, a young dolphin with a playful spirit, and a knack for finding hidden paths through the ocean. Together, they embarked on a journey to the Forgotten Reef, a place where an ancient treasure was hidden, a treasure that held the power to protect the ocean from future threats. Along the way, they encountered many challenges: a labyrinth of kelp, a sea dragon guarding the entrance to the reef, and a series of riddles that only those with true courage could solve. Theo learned that courage wasn't about not being afraid. It was about doing what was right, even when fear was present. With each challenge, his bond with Ripple, Marina, and Coral grew stronger. They laughed, faced dangers, and celebrated small victories together, their friendship lighting the darkest corners of the ocean. At the heart of the Forgotten Reef, they found the treasure, a radiant crystal that pulsed with the energy of the ocean. As Theo touched it, he felt a connection to every living creature in the sea. He understood then that the ocean was alive, and that it needed guardians, people who would stand up to protect it. With the crystal in hand, Theo and his friends returned to the palace. Coral used its power to create a protective barrier around the ocean, ensuring that no darkness could ever threaten their home again. The underwater kingdom celebrated, with lights and music filling the water and creatures of all kinds joining in the festivities. Theo knew that he had found something far greater than treasure. He had found his purpose. And as the shimmering shell transported him back to the beach once more, he knew that the ocean would always be a part of him, and that he would always be ready for the next adventure. If you enjoyed Theo's underwater adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another magical bedtime story. Let us know in the comments, what would you do if you found a magical shell? We'd love to hear your thoughts.